In the heart of Igbo land, nestled between the rivers Niger and Imo State, lies the village of Umuchi, a small peaceful community surrounded by lush green forests and fertile lands. The villagers of Umuchi lived in harmony with nature, relying on the rivers and forests for their livelihood. According to the village lore, a beautiful mermaid named Noma lived in the depths of the Imo River. She was said to possess enchanting beauty and a voice that could charm the fish from the waters. Noma was believed to be a gentle creature, often helping the villagers by guiding their fishing nets to the most abundant catches. However, as with all good things, a darker side of Noma's nature existed. She was fiercely jealous of the villagers' relationships with one another, and her envy grew with each passing day. As time passed, Noma's jealousy intensified, and she began to manifest her envy in subtle ways. Fishermen would report finding their nets torn, and villagers would whisper about strange occurrences by the riverbank. Some even claimed to have seen Noma's shimmering scales glinting in the moonlight, her eyes glazing with a fierce green light. One fateful evening, a young couple, Okechukwu and Akuna, strolled along the riverbank hand in hand. Noma watched from the depths, her eyes seething with envy. She couldn't bear the thought of their love and happiness. With a flick of her tail, Noma summoned a fierce storm. The winds howled and the rains lashed down, causing the river to swell. Okechukwu and Akuna were swept away by the raging waters, separated from each other in the chaos. The villagers searched far and wide, but only Okechukwu was found, clinging to a tree branch. Akuna was nowhere to be seen. The villagers feared the worst, believing her to be lost to the river depths. Noma's jealousy had claimed its first victim. The villagers of Umuchi were devastated by Akuna's disappearance. They searched the river and the forest, calling out her name, but only the echoes replied. Okechukwu, heartbroken and grief-stricken, became a shadow of his former self. The villagers, led by the elderly Dibia, a respected spiritual leader, gathered at the river bank to plead with Noma to release Akuna from her grasp. They offered sacrifices of fish, yams, and palm oil, hoping to appease the mermaid's wrath. Dibia, with a wise and gentle voice, called out to Noma, "O Noma, daughter of the river, we beg of you, have mercy on our child Akuna. Return her to us, and we promise to honor your place in our lives." The villagers waited, their eyes fixed on the river, hoping for a sign, a glimpse of Akuna's return. But the waters remained still, and Noma's silence was deafening. As the sun dipped below the horizon, the villagers reluctantly dispersed, their hearts heavy with sorrow. Okechukwu remained, his eyes fixed on the river, his spirit broken. "I will find you, Noma," he vowed, his voice carried away by the wind. "I will find you, no matter what lies ahead." Okechukwu's determination to find Akuna only grew stronger with each passing day. He spent every waking moment by the river, searching for any sign of his beloved. The villagers, though sympathetic, began to worry about his obsession. One day, as Okechukwu sat by the river, an old man appeared before him. The stranger introduced himself as Ogbuefi, a wise and experienced traveler who had heard of Okechukwu's plight. "I can help you find Akuna," Ogbuefi said, his eyes twinkling with a knowing glint. "But the journey will be treacherous and the path uncertain. Are you prepared to face what lies ahead?" Okechukwu's heart raced as he considered the offer. He thought of Akuna, and his resolve hardened. "I am ready," he said, as his voice was firm. Ogbuefi nodded, a small smile playing on his lips. "Then let us begin. We must journey to the underworld kingdom of the mermaids, where Noma resides. But first, we need to gather 3 gifts to appease her: a shell from the depths of the ocean, a pearl from the heart of a rare flower, and a song from the throat of a bird with the sweetest voice in the land." The journey ahead seems daunting, but Okechukwu was undeterred. With Ogbuefi by his side, he set out to face the challenges that lay in store. Okechukwu and Ogbuefi set out on their journey, following the winding path that led to the ocean shore. The sun beat down upon them, and the air was filled with the sweet scent of the salt water and the cries of seagulls. As they reached the beach, Ogbuefi pointed a small boat bubbling on the waves. "That is our vessel," he said. "But first we must find the shell. It lies hidden in the depths of the ocean, guarded by the fierce Ike, a sea serpent." Okechukwu's heart raced at the thought of facing a fearsome creature, but Ogbuefi's calm demeanor reassured him, and together they pushed the boat into the waves. As they rowed further from the shore, the water grew darker and colder. Suddenly, the sea serpent's massive claws burst from the depths, its jaws wide open. Okechukwu froze in terror, but Ogbuefi began to chant an ancient song, his voice weaving a spell of calm. The serpent's fury subsided, and it regarded the pair with a curious gaze. Ogbuefi reached into the water and retrieved a shimmering shell, its surface etched with ancient symbols. "The shell of the ocean's secrets," Ogbuefi whispered. His eyes gleamed with knowing light. "With this," he said, "we shall get entrance to Nnoma's kingdom." Their first gift in hand, they rolled back to shore, ready to face the next challenge on their journey. Okechukwu and Ogbuefi journeyed to the heart of the forest, seeking the rare Udala flower, whose pearl would be their second gift. The air grew thick with the scent of blooming flowers, and the canopy overhead seemed to hum with the songs of hidden birds. As they walked, the paths grew narrower, and the trees twisted and gnawed, their branches like ocean's own maze. Ogbuefi led the way, his eyes fixed on the hidden paths only he could see. Suddenly, a radiant light burst forward, and the Udala flower bloomed before them. Its petals shimmered like diamonds, and its center glowed with an ethereal light. Okechukwu reached out a trembling hand, and Ogbuefi nodded in approval. But as they approached, a tiny mischievous creature, the Nkisi, flitted from the flower center. "You shall not have the pearl without a test," it squeaked, its voice like a tinkling of a bell. Okechukwu and Ogbuefi exchanged a wary glance. The Nkisi prince presented them with a riddle. What can be broken but never held? What can be given but never sold? Okechukwu's mind raced, but Ogbuefi's eyes sparkled with the knowing. "The answer is a promise," he said, his voice confident. The Nkisi grinned, impressed. "You have passed the test. Take the pearl, and may it guide you on your journey." With the pearl in hand, they continued their quest, ready to face the next challenge that lay ahead. Okechukwu and Ogbuefi journeyed to the land of Akokoro, a tribe renowned for their exquisite music and poetry. Their mission was to find the bird with the sweetest voice, whose song would be their final gift. As they entered the Akokoro village, they were greeted by the enchanting melodies of flutes, drums, and lyres. The air was filled with the sweet scent of incense, and the villagers welcomed them with warm smiles. The village elder, Oliako, received them with grace and humility. "We have been expecting you, travelers. Our wisest musicians have prepared a concert for your pleasure. May the sweetest voice be revealed to you." The night sky twinkled above as the villagers gathered around the fire. Musicians took turns showcasing their talents, each performance more breathtaking than the last. Okechukwu's heart swelled with joy and wonder, just as the night seemed to reach its climax. A shy young girl, Nnamaka, stepped forward. Her voice, like a gentle breeze on a summer's day, captivated the audience. The stars seemed to twinkle in harmony with her melody, and Okechukwu's soul resonated with the beauty of her voice. Ogbuefi nodded in approval. "The sweetest voice has been found. Nnamaka, your song shall be our gift to Nnoma." With all three gifts in hand, they bade farewell to the Akokoros and began their journey to the underwater kingdom, ready to face whatever lay ahead. Okechukwu, Ogbuefi, and Nnamaka stood at the ocean's edge, the shell, pearl, and the song ready to be presented to Nnoma. Ogbuefi led them to the hidden cave, where a magnificent water palace shimmered in the sunlight. As they descended into crystal-clear waters, a procession of mermaids and mermen greeted them, their shimmering scales catching the sun rays. Nnoma sat upon a throne, her long hair flowing like seaweeds, her eyes fixated intent on the trio. Ogbuefi presented the gift, and Nnoma's gaze softened. You have proven your worth, Okechukwu. Your love and determination have touched my heart. With a graceful gesture, she summoned Akuna, who emerged from the shadows, her eyes shining with joy. The lovers embraced, their hearts overflowing with happiness. Norma's voice echoed through the palace. Let this be a lesson to all. Love and courage shall conquer even the darkest of jealousies. From this day forward, let our kingdoms be united in peace and harmony. The underwater kingdom erupted in celebration, and Okechukwu and Akuna swam hand in hand, surrounded by their new friends. Their love strong enough to overcome any obstacle. With enormous blessing, Okechukwu and Akuna returned to Umuchi, their hearts full of joy and the spirits lifted. The villagers, overjoyed by their reunion, welcomed them back with open arms. Dibia, the elderly spiritual leader, performed a ritual of thanksgiving, and the villagers celebrated late into the night. Okechukwu and Akuna's love had conquered all, and their bond was stronger than ever. As they settled back into their village life, Okechukwu realized that his journey had taught him valuable lessons. He understood that true love requires courage, perseverance, and the willingness to face challenges head-on. Akuna too had grown from her experiences. She had discovered her own strength and resilience and had learned to appreciate the beauty of their love even more. Together, they lived happily ever after, and their love inspired generations to come. The legend of Akuna and Okechukwu's love became a beacon of hope, reminding all that true love can conquer even the darkest of jealousies. Thank you for listening to our story. Please like, share, and subscribe.